The PDC ranking is based on prize money earned over the last 2 years. But that can be misleading. Some tournaments offer way more prize money than others, and lower-ranked players often don't even get the chance to compete in those events. That means their ranking doesn't always reflect their true performance. So instead, I decided to evaluate players based purely on statistics. The data I used covers the last 365 days, and the comparison is made against all tour card holders. In this video, we'll calculate the overall rating of Michael van Gerwen. I've selected 6 key stats that define a great darts player. For each one, I'll assign a score based on how he ranks, compared to the rest of the players. Sounds complicated? Don't worry. It'll all become clear as we go. Let's start with the first characteristic, the average. Over the last 365 days, Michael van Gerwen has averaged 97.18. When we compare that to the rest of the tour card holders, he's performed better than 95% of them. That gives him a score of 95. It hasn't been a great year by his standards, but it's still better than what most people might think. The lack of big wins has amplified the negative perception, but the stats show he's quietly performed better than expected. Let's move on to the second stat, marked as 100 plus on the card. This indicates the percentage of matches where van Gerwen averaged over 100. Over the last 365 days, he's done that in 29% of his matches, which means roughly 1 out of every 3 games. That puts him above 93% of tour card players, earning a score of 93. A 100-plus performance is probably what every pro darts player hopes to hit going into a match, so doing it 1/3 of the time is certainly impressive. Let's move on to the third stat, marked as 90- on the card. This represents the opposite of the previous one, the percentage of matches where van Gerwen averaged below 90. Over the past 365 days, that happened in just 10% of his matches, roughly once every 10 games. That puts him ahead of 94% of all tour card players, which earns him a score of 94. Even in what many would call a difficult season, Michael shows his class. It's extremely rare to see him drop below 90. Let's move on to the fourth stat, marked on the card as F9A. It refers to the first 9 average, which is the average A player scores with their first 9 darts in each leg. This is a key indicator of power scoring, since after 9 to 12 darts, pros are usually aiming to be in checkout range. Over the last year, Michael had a first 9 average of 106.02, a strong number. Compared to all tour card holders, that puts him ahead of 93% of them, so he gets a score of 93. Definitely not the explosive power scoring of his golden years, but still solid. To be honest, I expected it to be a bit lower. Let's move on to the fifth stat, labeled as 180 on the card. There's not much to explain here. It simply refers to the number of 180s per leg van Gerwen has hit. In the last 365 days, Michael has a ratio of 0.28 180s per leg. It's no secret that in recent years, he's no longer the 180 machine he once was. With this number, he's done better than 82% of tour card players, which earns him a score of 82. Back in his prime, van Gerwen's power scoring was incredible. But after adjusting his throw due to injury, he's lost a bit of that explosive scoring power. And that drop is clearly visible in his 180s numbers. Let's move on to the last stat, labeled as CHK, short for checkout. It refers to the percentage of doubles Michael has hit to win legs over the past year. His checkout rate sits at 41%, which is considered a very solid number. Most pros aim to stay around the 40% mark. With this result, he's done better than 91% of tour card players, earning a score of 91. Let's just say that right now, he's sharper on the finishes than he is in pure power scoring. We've now assigned a score to each of the 6 stats, so it's time to calculate the overall. By taking the average of all the scores, we get a final rating of 91. I won't spoil the full rankings of the other players, but I can tell you that with a 91, van Gerwen is ranked 10th overall. Considering the increasing competitiveness on the PDC Tour and the physical and personal challenges he's faced, Michael is still holding his ground. Of course, when it comes to van Gerwen, expectations are always sky high. Now that his personal life seems to have settled down a bit, let's see if he can raise his level again. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe to support the channel. And let me know in the comments which players overall you want to see next.